Hey everybody, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I became a millionaire at the age of 25. So that's not exactly true. So I'm guessing that most of you could probably relate to setting out goals and not really being clear about where to start or how to go about them. Well, it's the same in my case. So, in all honesty, I'm not 25, nor am I anywhere close to being a millionaire. In fact, I'm completely dependent on my parents for all my needs on a daily basis. But, like most of us, what I do have is a goal. And it's pretty simple, is to be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. Now, since most of us don't know where to start, in my case, I definitely don't. I think I've set out sort of rules and guidelines that I would like to follow. Or in this case, I would divide them into systems, purpose, skills, and affirmations. Okay, so let's start out by talking about systems. So there's this interesting quote by John C. Maxwell, which goes something like, "You need systems to build success and not just goals." So, what exactly are systems? Systems are basically principles that you can rely on, and they develop a sense of your character, your reaction to things, the way you perceive things. So, for example, let's just say I want to become a photographer, right? A system that I could set in place for me to become a better photographer could be that every time I step out of my home, I am going to click a picture, right? So that would be a very simple sort of system. Now, every time I step out of the home, whatever it is, I click a picture, I learn something new, and that's an example of a system in the simplest sense. So, in my case, since my goal is clear, right, it's very clear. I want to become a millionaire by the time I turn 25. So, what are my systems? So, my first system that I'm going to stick to is going to be getting up at 5 a.m. Now, for me personally, I feel like the feeling of getting up early in the morning before the sun rises is something I can't explain. You feel like a different sort of adrenaline rush, and I think it's something that I would suggest you experience for yourself. Again, if you're not a morning bird and you're a night owl, that's your thing. But in my case, that's something that really works for me. So that's my first system. So my second system is going to be reading. So this is something that I've stuck to throughout this year so far, and I've honestly loved it. I feel like reading has books have so much information and so much wisdom and so much in it that is untapped, because with our generation everything's becoming visual, and with books there's just so much to learn from. And that's something that I've been sticking to this year in specific, and for the past few years too, I guess, here and there. But I'm absolutely loving it, so that's another one of my systems. And my third system is going to be running. So I personally always loved running. It has a lot of health benefits, of course, but it's something that I enjoy. Obviously, there are days that I wake up and I don't feel like doing it, but when I'm doing it, like when I'm actually in it, it's something that I really enjoy. I love tiring myself with running, and that's another one of my systems. So, if you think about it, in this case, my systems are quite dynamic. Uh, I don't know, it's not necessary that your systems have to be dynamic, but if they cover a broader sense of you reaching a goal. Now, in my case, being a millionaire, right, you need to be mentally fit. So, running, and you need to be physically fit too, so that you can get in the work, you can get in the hours if required, and reading knowledge. You can learn so much. You can understand what it took for people to reach where you want to be. So in my case, that's another thing that will really help me. And getting up at 5 a.m. is something that will give me a psychological head start front of a lot of people, because at least I will feel like, yeah, I am getting in the work, I am doing this. So that's why I'm going to reach my goal. And I'll again have the extra hours in the day, obviously. So getting up at 5 a.m. is another um, more dynamic approach to the whole system state. And again, it's not necessarily going to be the same for you. Depending on what your goal is, you need to choose your systems. So in my case, these things in a broader way cover the idea of me reaching my goal. Now, systems are well and good, right? Everybody talks about, yeah, you need to read, you need to get up in the morning, you need to work out, you need to eat healthy. But what about the days when you don't feel like it? Because I'm sure all of us have felt it, right? There are days when I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go for a run, or I don't want to go to the gym, right? What do you do then? Now, that's where purpose comes into the picture. So, in simple terms, your purpose is basically your why. Why do you want something? Why do I want to be a millionaire? Why do you want to get fitter? Why do you want to run every day? Why do you want to drink more water? All right, so now let's dive into my purposes. So, I want to be a millionaire. What are my purposes? So, I have three purposes. The first one is I want to be able to give my family, my friends, and my loved ones a luxurious life, right? I want to be able to spoil them, I guess you can say. The second purpose is I want complete financial freedom. I want to be able to pay for my own things. I want to be able to buy whatever I want at any point and not have to think 10 times before I make the purchase. So, financial freedom is another one of the purposes. And the third one is I want to give back to my community. I want to make the dogs in my area sterilized or find them homes or be able to feed them. Again, that's me giving back to my community, and that's my third purpose. So, in my case, all of my purposes have a sentimental and emotional link to them. It's not necessarily that you have to choose the same way or the same purposes, because for me, what drives me is the fact that if I know tomorrow, let's say for example, I don't want to get up and go for a run, right? So I would think about how I want to be able to buy my parents a house by the time I turn 25. Now, if I ring that thought in my head in the morning and I'm in my bed and I'm about to hit snooze, there is no way I'm not going to be able to get out of bed. Now, again, that's something that works for me. And this doesn't have to be so emotional or so exaggerated, right? There are cases where you can choose your purpose and you can exaggerate it because it's all in your head. Right? You can make that purpose so big that to you, that's the most important thing to work. So, just to give you another really good quote about purpose. This quote is by Benjamin Disraeli. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it goes like, the secret of success is consistency of your purpose, which basically means there are going to be days, where you feel high and low and you don't feel like going through and you do feel like going through. But on the lows, it's your purpose that will keep you motivated, because motivation is temporary. Nobody's going to be motivated for all of their life, right? There are going to be lows, there are going to be highs, but your purpose is what keeps you steady. So throughout the journey, you're stable, you're on your path to your goal. So another key thing that is going to be crucial for me in achieving my goal is going to be skills. Again, before I dive into skills or the skills that I have chosen to work on, I would like to say that this is not necessarily true again for everybody. Your goal might not necessarily need skills, right? You could, let's say your goal is just to drink more water. You don't exactly need a skill to drink water. You could add your systems and you could add purpose to them, but uh, skills is again not something that you necessarily need, but it's up to you. So you need to move things around depending on what your goal is. So I have divided the skills I'll be learning into two categories. There's active skills and passive skills. So active skills are basically skills that I'll be doing while I'm learning them, because I feel like there's more of a learning curve to things when you are actually executing them. And the active skills are design. So I'm a design student. I'm in my third year right now, and I'll be learning and applying design through tiny freelance projects, college work, and yeah, basically small jobs here and there. That's how I'll be learning and executing design. And video editing, script writing, and content creation are my other three active skills that I'll be working on. Again, this channel itself is going to be helping me develop the skills, because I'm going to be learning about content creation, video editing, script writing, how to make stuff better in all of these domains. Now, my passive skills are photography and coding. So, photography is something that I've, I think I've been interested in, but I've not really been the best at. And of late, I've discovered that it is a very interesting subject. And again, it goes hand in hand with uh, video making and content creation, because if you can in fact, one of my teachers recently said that if you can click a good picture, you can create a great video, because pictures are just a frame, a video is multiple frames together. But yeah, so photography and coding is something that I know I won't be using right now, but in the future I think it could be really helpful. So learning how to code, learning the softwares and all of that is going to be something that I'm going to be working on the side too. Now, the next important thing that I would need, I believe, to reach my goal is affirmations. So, for those of you that don't know, affirmations are basically you saying something like it's already happened, right? You putting something out there like it's already true, you believe in it, you act like it's already there. So if you think about it, in my case, this video itself is an affirmation, right? I have titled the video as I am a millionaire, or how I became a millionaire at 25, right? And I am not 25, nor am I a millionaire, but I'm acting like it's already happened. So you don't have to put your affirmations out there into the world. You could just write it on your mirror, put it on your phone lock screen, or just say it to yourself every morning, right? Affirmations are really powerful, and yeah, you could do whatever you're comfortable with, but affirmation is something that I highly recommend trying to. Now, I wish that goal setting and achieving was as easy as it sounds, but it's not. So, one of the biggest factors that I feel like can define, in my case, and in most people's case for that matter, is luck. Now, luck is something that's not in our control. You cannot imply systems to make yourself more lucky, right? But what you can do, I believe, is set systems in place so that you can increase the odds of luck, right? So if I keep putting myself out there, keep posting videos, keep meeting people, keep going to conferences, keep learning, right? I am increasing my odds of finding luck. It's as simple as that. Let's say in your case, it could be you want to be fitter, right? So you go for a walk every day evening. Now it rains, right, on one day, because, well, that's something that's not in your control, and it rains at the exact time that you go for a walk. But you have an extra half an hour saved later in the evening, or in the afternoon, or at night, and you know that in case it rains, or in case any other natural disaster happens during that time, you can always just walk at a later time when you've had it saved. So that's an example of a system that can help, you know, fighting luck. Now, I know that along the way to any goal, there is going to be setbacks and failures and roadblocks. But in this case, I don't see this as anything but a good failure. So, what are good failures? Good failures are basically where you come out with so much more than you went in. So, in this case, let's say the YouTube channel doesn't work out, right? But I have learned video editing, I have learned camera placement, I've learned camera settings, I've learned script design. I've learned set design, I've learned script writing, right? So there's so many things that I've learned, and I don't see that as anything but a good failure, because at the end of the day, tomorrow, I have all of those skills under my repertoire. And if I want to use them somewhere else, like if I want to edit content for another YouTuber, I could always do that. I'm putting myself out there and I'm taking the risk. And risk is something that is so commonly preached about to our generation. And I honestly feel like I haven't done enough of it. So I see this whole goal, the skills that are used in them, the systems, as all of it as a whole, that it just makes me a better person at the end, whether I reach my goal or not. So I would like for you to choose one such goal that you have been neglecting, or you, for whatever reason, haven't been able to pursue, and create systems around them, right? Simple systems. They don't have to be complex. Make sure they're simple, in fact, so that in case you're not feeling like going through with anything on any given day, you can rely on your system. And set out your purpose, all right? Why are you doing it? And again, like I said, exaggerate it. Like, make it the most emotional thing, or whatever drives you. It could be anger, it could be passion, it could be emotion. Exaggerate it to the max. And trust me, if you exaggerate your purpose, there is no way in hell that on any given day you don't feel like going through with something. You are going to go through with it. Because if you can exaggerate your purpose in your mind that much, it is going to work. And skills. So depending on your goal, if you require skills, then I would recommend you figure out what are skills that could help me reach my goal. I can think about broad skills. Don't think about niche, because you're not exactly sure about whether the skill will help or not. But like again, with me and coding, I don't know if it'll ever help, but it's a skill that I know that is required in the world, and I know that the demand for it isn't going to die out anytime soon. So that's a skill that's going to work for me. So you choose what works for you. And again, you don't have to share this with everybody, but you could if you want to comment it down below. And that would really help like others get inspired, and you could join the community. So the reason I want you to be a part of this family is also because I think it's not often you see somebody set out on a journey and state the destination first and then begin. Because it's quite common to see people be like, this is how I became a millionaire, or this is how I had this transformation, right? But it's not often that you see somebody start from zero and then set out where they want to be and then begin on that journey. So I hope you join this community. I hope you subscribe, because I feel like if we can all drive towards our goal, we can really create something big over here, and it'll be fun and motivating for everybody. To end things, I hope you were able to learn something new. If not, I hope you got some sort of motivation to work towards your goals. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. And like, share, and subscribe. And see you next time.